Hi there, my name is Sarah Francis and I am a content creator for the National Autistic Society. As part of your Finding Your Future campaign, I am working with the DFN Foundation and the NSEF to tell you what I do for a living and share some motivational tips and advice on finding your pathway to employment. I have two job titles, however I stick to the one title because I am partnering with the National Autistic Society and my job title with them is content creator. This means that I get to work with various other content creators on the autistic spectrum to create content and also to help raise awareness for autism. My second title, which I don't really use anymore, is vlogger. This means that I vlog videos on YouTube and I upload daily content about my life in the perspective of an autistic woman, sharing motivational tips and advice, and also try to open up to the community on how I feel and sharing expressions. It's not your everyday type of job because you don't really get paid when you're doing vlogging, but it depends on how many number of subscribers you have and also if you're being supported by Google and YouTube. It doesn't pay a lot, but it's something that's really enjoyable, and I think for me it gives back to the community because not only you get to do a lot of things that make a difference to the world, but also you'll get a chance to share other people's opinions. And from the feedback I get, I've heard a lot of people say to me that they can relate to certain topics and they talk to me a bit more about it. There's not much of an overview on doing some daily vlogging. What you do is you just pick up a camera and you film about what certain topics you would like to do, and then all you've got to do once the filming is over is to edit and then upload onto YouTube. However, with this overview, it does take a little bit of work. So for example, if there is a special celebration like World Autism Awareness Day, I have to write something down that I think is going to be relevant, and if I'm doing a collab with somebody, I have to communicate with them to see what they can do in that perspective. And sometimes it's a little bit easy and sometimes it's a little bit hard, but you just gotta have to go with the flow. I think for me, the best part of the job is to get to know everybody and sharing some stories. And just because that I'm the one that's filming a lot, there's a lot of people who would comment down below sharing their own stories and personal perspectives, especially during World Autism Awareness Week, where I've had so many feedback from so many people on certain parts of my videos. My worst part of the job is trying to do the editing, and I know it sounds a little bit like, oh, you're just being too lazy, you're just doing this, that and the other. To be honest though, sometimes it's a bit of a pain because you just don't really know what to do and you don't really know what you're going to be cutting out and what you're editing under a certain time limit, and sometimes it can be really stressful, but at the end of the day, if it's worth it, that content has potential. When things get tough, I would just pause the recording button and sometimes I would get very emotional. But how I deal with things is that if I don't feel right for filming, I'll just take a step back and just leave it to either the next day or the next few days or weeks. And when you're ready, just come back and do some filming. And the thing about vlogging is that there's no pressure. All the pressure is focused on you individually. And being an individual, that stress can be probably a million times more. I don't really know, but all I know is that when things get rough, I take a step back, and when I'm ready, I'll go back to where I was again and then just see how we go. And that has happened to me a few times, but I think you just got to be really open with your feelings and your honesty behind the camera. I got into my job just out by chance really, because I've been doing vlogging for nearly 5 years and I didn't really think about vlogging at first, and the only way that I started was through university. I was having a difficult time with university and I didn't really know what to do, so I was looking away for escapism, and I found that this escapism turned into something more. It was a little bit hard to adjust first because I had to keep experimenting with myself and I really didn't know what to do or how the vlogging thing worked in terms of like what people would want to see, how do you share and all of that, and to be honest I still don't know. But I think at the end of the day it's really worth it, and I think it was the best decision I've ever done. I didn't really need any training. I just had to learn about myself and just had to look at the things I can do and what potential things that I can or could try when it comes to vlogging. And that's roughly about it. So vlogging, it's just straightforward. You don't need training with that really. It depends. There's no hours when it comes to vlogging. You don't really have a time limit, you don't have hours, you don't have anything. Any hour is entirely up to you, and I know it can sound ridiculous sometimes, but it feels more relaxed really, as when you compare to office work to actually being a YouTuber, when you have a deadline is a bit more pressured and it needs to be done, whilst a deadline for vlogging, it's not like that really, but sometimes it can be. It depends on what you are celebrating, so having a special celebration, you need to be on it, you really do. But other times when you are in no rush, you feel like, yeah, I can deal with this. Sometimes it's really the opposite, because some content creators do upload twice a week and some content creators just upload when they feel like it. But at the end of the day, it is entirely up to you. By doing YouTube, I have made so many friends, not just in the UK, but all around the world. Some of them are on the autistic spectrum, some of them are not, but it's really amazing to see how much of a bigger community YouTube and social media plays a part of when it comes to making friends. My very first job was being a youth support worker. It was way different compared to what I was doing, and I started my first job at the same time I was doing YouTube, but because I was working quite a lot, well, working part-time 2 days a week, I didn't really have much time to focus on my channel a lot, especially where I had to plan some activities for the kids, and things didn't really work out for me because I left after working for 3 months. But I've learned a lot from this, and I've learned that I can be a leader and I can learn things, even though I have difficulty with a few things sometimes. However, it was really rewarding, and I've learned the importance of giving back to the community more than ever. To be honest, I don't really have the funniest thing that's ever happened to me at work. So, this is a tough one. What can I give as advice? Well, it's a bit hard to say really, but I think, to tell you the truth, I think that if you want to be honest with yourself and if you feel like you really want to do it, don't be afraid to try. However, before you do, you have to make sure what topics you're going to be talking about, because compared to some people who would just go do some daily vlogging or just do random things, some people tend to focus on one special topic or 2 special topics that mean a lot to them. You just have to do things at your own pace, at your own time, focus on what you really want to do and just have fun with it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to pursue your hopes and dreams and always keep pushing your motivation, and you will get there. If you have any questions for future videos, please please ask on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook by using the hashtag Finding Your Future and tagging the DFN Foundation. I hope you have a really lovely day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the Autism Awareness Week wherever you are in the world. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.